Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the First Pitch podcast on Pitcher List. My name is Trevor Hooth. Always happy to have you with me here, and we are going to talk some baseball, of course, starting with the news. Brewers' Brandon Woodruff had his rehab halted yet again. He's been on the comeback trail, and it's been a very, very long time, but he took a 108-mile-an-hour comebacker off of his right elbow and suffered a right elbow contusion. This was slated to be his last rehab start before joining the Brewers. He's going to be out for a few more weeks. So he still will probably see him this year, but he's hit another snag in his rehab. This, of course, just after getting hit by a comebacker. That's not anything that snapped or popped or anything like that. But Brandon Woodruff will be out for another few weeks and will be sidelined from his rehab. Kumar Rocker for the Rangers has been optioned down to AAA to make room for Chris Martin. Rocker has struggled this year when healthy. He did get hurt for a little bit, but when he's been on the mound, it just hasn't been going well. His strikeout rate is down, and he had a fundamental mistake in his recent start, and that's not why they're saying he was sent down. Couldn't have helped. We'll see how long he's down and what the Rangers decide to do, because Nathan Eovaldi is still working with his thing. So right now they're on a four-man rotation. Have to see what happens. The White Sox are going to promote catching prospect Kyle Teel. High walk rate, 14% walk rate, hitting 295 in AAA, which, he had a slow start. When Edgar Caro got called up originally, people said, why not Kyle Teel? Well, he was hitting like 140 or something like that. And he has really, really picked things up and been a hot hitter at AAA. He's going to get his chance at the big league level. The question is, what are the White Sox going to do with that catcher position? They have Edgar Caro and Corey Lee there right now. Corey Lee's been mostly the backup. They also have Matt Tice getting some reps behind the plate. But will they carry two rookie catchers is the question, or will Edgar Caro get sent down? The Atlanta Braves are shaking up their bullpen. Daysbel Hernandez heads to the IL, and they DFA Scott Blewett after he gave up 5 earned runs in his appearance last night. Dylan Dodd is going to be recalled and join the bullpen, and old friend Craig Kimbrell will be in the Braves bullpen once again. Cole Reagan's return, the corresponding move Thomas Hatch was designated for assignment. Reagan's surrendered 5 earned runs with 3 walks and 4 strikeouts across 3 innings in his return to action. Pablo Lopez is officially placed on the injured list. I know you've heard about this one, so I won't go too far into it, but the news is that he officially has gone on the injured list. He's going to miss multiple months with that strain that he has, and Joe Ryan had the same thing, and he's come back pretty well, so that gives a little bit of hope, but it is going to take some time for Pablo Lopez to recover. Ever the tinkerer in Detroit, A.J. Hinch, the manager, says Colt Keith may be playing some third base at some point this year. After Gleyber Torres was signed, we thought Colt Keith was going to be the first baseman, but Torque came out swinging, and so Colt Keith looking for a place to go. Maybe he'll take third base. I know they wanted Jace Young to do that at one point. He didn't quite reach out and take the spot. He's back in AAA, and now they're looking for someone there, and they think, hey, maybe Colt Keith is the guy. So for fantasy purposes, he might be getting third base eligibility at some point this year if that is actually going to happen. Francisco Lindor, day-to-day right now with a broken pinky toe. He wants to play, so monitor that one closely. Josh Naylor had been playing through some shoulder and hand issues, according to the manager. He was removed from the game, had a pinch hitter. I have not seen any other news on that, so that's worth monitoring. Also worth monitoring, the Astros talking about giving Lance McCullers Jr. an extra day of rest. So the Sunday starter for Houston is still up in the air. It could be McCullers. They haven't committed to not starting him, or could be someone else. So that certainly will be something to watch as we get closer to Sunday. Chris Bubich is going to have his workload managed a little bit. The Royals have also talked about giving him some extra rest. He's back in the rotation this year after spending time in the bullpen last year. So, they don't want him to hurt his arm, and something to watch for fantasy. He might have his workload managed a little bit. Shane Bieber came out of a bullpen session earlier this week with soreness. They are going to be meeting with doctors to see what that timetable might look like, but Shane Bieber and his rehab has been paused as well. Shea Langoliers, I have not seen any further update on this, but he was set to undergo an MRI. He left the game. It looked like maybe something on his left side got pulled while he was at the plate. So we'll have to see what happens there. Again, news to come. Nothing out there yet, but he is undergoing an MRI to see what's happening. Luis Arias is also day to day with knee soreness. And the Twins are set to promote Travis Adams. The corresponding move is yet to come. That's likely to be bullpen help. No official word on the role. He's been a starter his entire minor league career up until this season. This season, he's been 42 innings, 4.3 ERA, 37 strikeouts with 11 of those 13 appearances coming in relief. So he's likely to just help out with relief after they had to use a bunch of relievers in the game. Again, we'll see what the role is. I mean, maybe he'll start. Maybe they give him an option. They likely want Festa, though, to get a lot of opportunity to take that rotation spot vacated by the Lopez injury. But Travis Adams will be making his MLB debut, whether that be in the bullpen, which, again, is most likely, and what I would anticipate is more of a long relief role. But congratulations to him, and he'll be making his MLB debut. Looking at some hitting highlights from yesterday's games, it was a doubleheader, but in one of the games, stop Michael Garcia. I dare you. The Royals breakout player went 2 for 3 with a double and a home run and a pair of steals, just filling up that stat sheet. Other side of the doubleheader, he went 0 for 5 with a run, so somebody did stop him, but we don't have to talk about that. Also for the Royals in that doubleheader, Jack Caglione picked up his first hit, which was an RBI double. Marcus Semien is up to 6 home runs now on the year after launching a pair of them against the Rays. Now I'm scared to talk about this next one. I'm just going to be honest, because once I start talking about him, once I mention his name, my podcast set might just catch on fire. Junior Caminero hit another home run. That man has been blazing over the last few weeks. In fact, over his last 15 games, he's hitting .339 with 7 home runs on the season. I mean, dude has just been on fire, and the power has come through big time. Great to see. Jazz Chisholm coming back from injury a few games ago. He's played 3 games. He collected 3 hits in the game yesterday. That means he's hitting .455 with a home run and a stolen base since returning from injury. So he's come back pretty hot too for the Yankees. Pete Crow Armstrong did something fun in the game yesterday. He had his 16th home run of the year. In other breaking news, water is wet. So, also just equally as surprising on that one. Anyway, Isaac Paredes for the Astros hit 2 home runs. He's up to 14 on the season. Slow start from him, but he's starting to get into that power. And hey, these weren't even home runs pulled into the Crawford boxes. They were playing away. Pete Alonso, Brandon Nimmo, and Starling Marte for the Mets all homered off Landon Knack. And because it's the Dodgers, the Mets still lost that one by 1 run. I'm sure there were other things other than them being the Dodgers, but that's what I'm going to choose to believe is what happened. But Alonso, Nimmo, and Marte all going deep. Cal Raleigh for the Mariners also went deep, and Raleigh broke the tie for the MLB lead of home runs. He was sitting at 23 with Shohei Ohtani. Well, Cal Raleigh has 24 now, so he is the sole holder of the MLB home run lead, and he just continues to hit tanks. Another gaggle of players with a home run for the Athletics. Max Muncy, the young one. Jacob Wilson hit his 8th home run. The guy who's not supposed to have any power. He's got 8 home runs on the year. And Tyler Soderstrom had a pair of home runs to lead the A's 14-run outburst. Good to see Soderstrom with a pair of home runs. But Jacob Wilson, man, he has been phenomenal this year. His bat-to-ball skills are absolutely on display. High average. And he's got some power in there, man, at least to his pull side. Bo Bichette continuing his comeback year, 8th home run of the season. He's hitting .279 right now, and seems like he's back a little bit. Edgar Caro, as I mentioned, murky future, had a couple of hits, still just not showing the power. And so it's going to be interesting to see what they do. Do they want to just go straight rookie time split between Teal and Caro, or will Caro head down to AAA for a little bit? He's been hitting well, so it's not he would be demoted because of his performance. But with Kyle Teal coming up, White Sox might not want 2 rookie catchers. However, that seems like it might be the future in Chicago. Ronald Acuna Jr. still just coming back with a vengeance. Hit his fourth home run for the Braves. He was joined in the home run trot by Austin Riley and Drake Baldwin, who also hit home runs. Not to be outdone on the other side of that high-scoring affair, Ketel Marte, Lourdes Gurriel Jr., and Alec Thomas each had a home run for the Diamondbacks. That was an 11-10 game led by 6 home runs between the two teams. Taking a look at some of the starting pitching highlights from yesterday, Noah Cameron remains really good for the Royals. 6 scoreless innings, 3 strikeouts, 2 walks. His season ERA is 0.85. He has 31 and two-thirds MLB innings. He's surrendered just 3 runs. However, the flip side to that, he's only struck out 19 in those 31 innings and has 10 walks. There was a stretch of brilliance for Matthew Liberatore where he was all the rage, it seemed like, but he's kind of fallen off, and that continued yesterday's games. He gave up 7 earned run against the Royals, 4 innings, 2 strikeouts. Jack Leiter was shining once again. He's looked good every time I've seen him. 6 strikeouts, 1 walk, 5 innings against the Rays. Ryan Pepio struck out 8 Rangers and gave up a pair of runs over 6 innings. This makes 19.2 innings over his last 3 starts with 2 earned runs, just 2 earned runs, and 17 strikeouts. Done a very good job limiting runs. The strikeouts have not been amazing, but this 8 strikeout game certainly helps those stats. Max Fried dominates once again, striking out 7 Guardians across 6 shutout innings. He lowers his season ERA to 1.78. So, good find by the Yankees, I guess. Framber Valdez had a complete game his last time out. This time out, well, 11 strikeouts, giving up a pair of earned runs over 7 innings. So a couple of back-to-back really good starts for Framber Valdez and the Astros. So the best advice I can give MLB teams, if I'm allowed to, try to avoid facing Robbie Ray. Like, at all costs. Just don't do it. It's not going well for people. He struck out 9, gave up a pair of runs across 7 innings yesterday. He's got 54 strikeouts and just 12 walks with a 1.57 ERA over his last 7 starts. So, dude's just been on fire. Jesus Luzardo got rocked for the second straight start. He lasted only 2 1/3, gave up 8 earned runs. This coming one start after giving up 12 earned runs in 3 1/3 innings. So, Luzardo is on kind of a cold streak right now, and I don't know. That's a couple of rough starts in a row. Same thing happened with Brandon Pfaadt for the Diamondbacks. He lasted only 3 innings and gave up 5 earned runs, and this comes after the start where he did not record an out and give up 8 earned runs. So both of them, I guess, saw some improvement in that earned run column, but both pitchers struggling right now. Both Luzardo and Pfaadt, just a couple of really rough outings back-to-back for them. Ending things on a higher note, though, Chris Bassett was solid once again, scattered 5 hits and a pair of walks while striking out 6, giving up 1 earned run across 7 innings. So those were some highlights, some news, some things to think about. Again, it's not a full slate of games. We'll have a full slate of games to talk about in tomorrow's podcast. However, for right now, we're going to take a look at those games after a quick break. I appreciate you joining me. This is the First Pitch Podcast on Pitcher List. And welcome back to the First Pitch Podcast on Pitcher List. My name is Trevor Hooth. Glad to have you with me. We've looked at news. We've looked at highlights, hitters, and pitchers. We say we take a look at some of the pitching coming up today. Cubs and Tigers, after being an opener his last time out, Ben Brown struck out 9 in 6 innings. He was on point, a sparkling outing for him. He was not the starter. He followed an opener. Drew Pomerantz opened for him. Well, he's going to get the ball to start the game, at least. That's what's slated to happen against the Tigers. He's going to take on Tarek Skubal and Detroit. Question for you. Will Warren bounce back after a rough start last time? Yes, I did include this just so I could say will. But Will Warren was another one who had a rough time last time out. He's going to be taking on the Red Sox, looking to turn things around. Didn't work out well for Luzardo and Pfaadt. But maybe Warren can have better luck against the Red Sox. He'll take on Walker Buehler, who could also use a good game, but he's going against the Yankees, so that makes it a little bit harder to do. You know, another pitcher that I'm just interested in now, always. I'm always constantly ready for a Chad Patrick start. He's been great this year. He's earned his spot in that rotation, making things really difficult on the Brewers to figure out what to do. They have a lot of pitching depth, but Chad Patrick has just been consistently good this year. So it's going to be fun to watch him take on the Padres later today. Randy Vasquez on the mound, and I was a big Randy Vasquez fan when he was a prospect coming through the Yankees system. Really, really nice breaking ball. He's been really good at times this year. Um, the strikeouts have not been there consistently. That's kind of the missing piece, I think. But he's also had some really good starts, so I think that one could be fun. More on the side of Patrick than Vasquez, but I mean, if Randy Vasquez brings his good stuff, anything is possible, and that could be a fun one. One thing I wanted to point out: there are a trio of to be determines, and I looked, could not find the answers, so I'm not sure who's going to be starting these games. But Miami taking on Tampa will have a TBD starter. The Blue Jays have a TBD starter. They're taking on the Twins, and the Athletics have a TBD starter. They're taking on the Orioles. Again, maybe I just missed some news. I didn't see who's going to be taking those on. I didn't see what the plan was, but definitely something to watch because, you know, taking on the Orioles, maybe you want to stream that person depending on who it is. And finally, the matchup of the day. It's going to be the Braves versus the Giants. Spencer Schwellenbach, who, if you listen to this podcast constantly, you know I love. I mean, I'm expecting him to be one of the better pitchers in fantasy this year, taking on another guy that I'm a big fan of, Hayden Birdsong, and his new kick change. Birdsong's been fantastic since moving to the bullpen. So Schwellenbach is coming off an awesome, awesome start. That should be a fun one. Spencer Schwellenbach versus Hayden Birdsong. Game of the day. I'll see tomorrow what happened in that, and we'll talk about it. But for right now, make sure to check out pitcherlist.com so you can see the top Nick's top 100, Scott's top 100 hitters, and of course Rick Graham's reliever lists. And you know, I never shout him out. I need two more. Kyle Bland has some really, really good charts and stuff like that for you to check out on PL Pro as well. So join PL Pro, and also that means you'll have access to the Discord where you can just be talking baseball. That's what we do all day, every day. I'd love to see you there if you're not there already. But for now, I will see you guys tomorrow. This has been another edition of the First Pitch Podcast on Pitcher List.